I hope it's only 6.
Yeah, no doubt.
I hope it's only 6.
Yeah, no doubt.
This is a Kettering Council workshop this evening. Today's date is November the 10th, 2020, and we will begin with Mr. Schwederman.
Thank you, Your Honor. We have a few items for you tonight in workshop, and then we'll transfer into executive session and then come back into workshop prior to starting our council meeting at 7:35. Anticipate we'll be done a little early, so you'll have some time to transition from workshop to the council meeting. First, just like to ask if there are any questions on tonight's council agenda items. We only have 3 agenda items tonight, but if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those now.
I assume you'll be taking all 3 of those, Mark?
I will, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Mark, on the first item, the $50,000 for legal fees, legal counsel, public defenders. How's that compared to what's been spent this year?
Well, I'm going to ask Mr. Hamer if he knows that off the top of his head. I do not know that number off the top of my head.
I do not know that number off the top of my head either, although I think we're well below the budgeted $55,000 that was budgeted for 2020.
Mm-hmm. I was just curious if it might be related to the pandemic at all.
I think it probably is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Ted.
All right, Ted, we're on a roll. They've asked one question and we didn't answer it. Maybe we'll do better on the next one.
We'll try.
So that's the agenda tonight. I think you all have your assignments. Jackie is Pledge of Allegiance. Bill is the minutes. And then I assume you each, Tony is the proclamation for Small Business Saturday. And then resolutions 1, 2, and 3. I don't have on my list who's doing those, but I assume you've worked that out.
We always start with the vice mayor on the first one.
I got 2, and that puts Bill at 3.
Yep, number 3.
All right,
Bill and
thank
I
you.
just smile.
What's that?
Bill and I just smile.
Oh,
All right, a few quick items. I believe you all received, or I know you should have all received an invitation to Dave Noble's tree dedication tomorrow at 1 p.m. at Indian Riffle Park. And I think a couple of you have indicated you're planning on attending, but a little nod. Yes, you've heard about that and you know that's tomorrow?
Yes.
All right, great.
I don't know about that. Where was that at, Mark?
We sent you an email with a kind of a postcard invite last week. It came from me. Dave was a former Parks and Rec employee back in the 80s. He's the Parks Foundation is dedicating some oak trees tomorrow afternoon. And I know Joe worked with Dave, but that's what I have for that.
it's supposed to be near the skateboard park, she told me. Mary Beth said.
And it will be a virtual event as well. MVCC is going to help us out with that so that Dave and his wife can participate virtually.
Yeah, I will not be there. I have 3 showings tomorrow afternoon. So,
all right.
Mark.
Next item is
Mark.
Yep.
Tony. I know Joe Homewood might be interested in participating in that virtual. Can you have Mary Beth, or can you send me something that I could tell him how he could dial in or view it?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
There it is.
Jackie, where are you?
I was looking at that email. Does it bleed me out when I do that?
I don't know. You're not on the screen.
I'm on the screen now, but yeah, I was looking for that email, so I just found it. I didn't know the gentleman, so I think that's why I automatically deleted it.
Yeah.
So my bad.
Is Jackie on everybody else's screen? I don't see her.
Well,
I got it.
I only get 9, and Jackie and Sarah Mills are not on my screen, but you got to scroll over to get them. Greg, same thing.
Yes, Sarah's on mine.
Jackie.
It depends how they
Touch your screen and swipe left, Don.
Correct.
slide it. It'll.
Okay, now I have Mary and MVCC and Jackie. I was just looking for you on my screen, so when the meeting starts, I can call if you hold your hand up or whatever. So
Yeah, when we go to the meeting, staff will take off their video, and that'll put all the council members on the first screen.
okay.
All right, next item I have for you is Rumpke, and this is just an FYI. We've not had a lot of interaction on this tonight or this week. Last week, Rumpke notified 660 households that had not yet paid a bill. Of those 660, about 150 of them paid right away, which leaves about 500 who have not paid. And those folks are not going to be serviced this week. So that should initiate a response from them. And Rumpke will work with them to get them paid. So our phone has not been ringing off the hook in regards to this the last 2 days. So hopefully it's going smoothly with Rumpke at this point.
Well, you haven't not picked up their trash. Please take all our home phone numbers off of the website until that's finished, would you?
Mark, I have a question, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Mark, of the 500, we hope they pay. But for those, let's say 50 or whatever, we know that, want to scam the system, just refuse to pay. I know our ordinance, we go through all that. Are we going to do anything differently this time, or are those folks that just refuse to pay just going to get away with it?
Yeah, I don't know that getting away with it will be the solution this time around. We still have our ordinance. But of course, this is Rumpke's first time around with collection. And obviously, they're taking a proactive approach now by not picking up so they can force interaction. So we'll see how that goes. And then we'll see how Rumpke treats the ones who stay off the list, if you will.
But our ordinance says they can't transport it. Do we need to
That's correct.
We need to change our ordinance so that
not at this point. We'll see how Rumpke plays it out.
Okay. I mean, I've just got a couple of residents that have done this for years, and other people are getting fed up with it. And,
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. You probably read in the paper, but I had a conversation with Scott.
Bill, hey, Mark. Bill had a question. Bill, you're on mute.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry, Mark. I had it on mute.
No problem.
I assume Rumpke has sent out several written notifications to those households.
I'm going to have to defer to Steve on that one. I don't know if he knows the answer to that. I just know that they tagged their equipment last week to let them know.
Yeah, I think this is the first round of correspondence with the residents. And my understanding is they'll continue correspondence until they get compliance.
So they have sent one letter plus the tag on the toter.
I believe so, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Had a conversation with Scott Inskeep yesterday, just giving me a heads up on the issues they're having at school with bus drivers. The issue being the virus and quarantine for drivers, but also a shortage of drivers, which results in a number of routes not having drivers yesterday, and also resulted in the school district notifying our parochial schools that they would be unable to provide bus service for all but one parochial school. St. Charles will continue to have bus service because of the demand that they have. But the demand from the other parochial schools is so small, they made the decision to discontinue the bus service. And I'll give you an example. One of the parochial schools had less than 10 students that utilized the bus service. And this also includes their contract with the city of Oakwood. they're going to discontinue that at some point. They have a notice requirement there, but as they continue to have problems with bus drivers, they had to take some action. And you probably read in the paper or heard the stories, but Huber Heights School District and Fairborn School District also had similar issues or have similar issues.
Mark, I can tell you, our neighbor right next door got notified 3 minutes before school was to start that they were not going to be able to make their bus route today. And that's a regular school drop that goes to Southdale. So.
Yeah, Scott mentioned they made very last minute calls because, again, when COVID, you don't know which drivers are coming in. And so they had to make a lot of last minute calls to folks through their one call system. The next item I have for you is that income tax report. And Steve, if you could share the workshop screen that has the income tax numbers on it. It's like the,
yeah.
I'll tell you. It's the second slide.
Yep.
So this slide is what the mayor was discussing earlier. And it shows that originally we budgeted $52,260,000 for 2020. We had revised that estimate down to a little over 50 million in September. And then in October, the number we showed you the last time and the number that's on that schedule you received tonight is 49,240,000. So you can, this slide is actually from our last workshop, but I anticipated this question. And tomorrow morning, I will send you the income tax summary so you can see what it would have looked like if we kept the 50,660,000, which was the first revision, first revision we made back in September.
Mark, can you also send the original one of what our projections were for each month and then summarize what they actually were for each month? I'm just curious how each month we were meeting our initial projections. And I don't know what that first one was, how many million total, but I'd like to see the comparison of where we've been month to month during this pandemic. So
yeah, what I can do is I'll send you the tax summary with 52,260,000 as the original budget. Then I'll send you the one with 50,660,000. And then finally, the one that you just received today for 49,240,000. I'll send all three of them to you in one email so you have them right there.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep. All right, with that, I think we're ready to go into executive session, Your Honor.
I have a motion to enter into executive session under section 12106K of the codified ordinances for the purposes of property matters, conference with attorney, labor negotiations, economic development, and negotiations with organizations and individuals.
Tony Kleepaz, so moved.
Second. Bruce.
Mr. Lauder,
Yes.
Mr. Wanamaker,
Yes.
Mr. Kleepaz,
Yes.
Ms. Fisher,
Yes.
Mr. Duke,
Yes.
myself, yes. We are in executive session.